And welcome everyone to the OS World Cup 2016 group stage draws. It all begins here. I am Doomsday. Joining me today we have Juan, Crystal and Loctav. How you doing, people?
Oh man, this is the moment that everyone were waiting for, the most important tournament of the game of OS, the OS World Cup. I'm doing fantastic. How are you, Loctav? Maybe we will not hear Loctav for some reason.
He's doing alright silently. He's here though.
Yeah, trust us, he's definitely doing fine.
Oh god, I need to focus this line to make it work. I'm switching between PCs and it is a bit like, what? Why doesn't my push to torque button work?
Well,
anyways.
It had to happen, right? It cannot go well all the way through.
There's always something not working. Okay, so I already see what's not working. The starting soon is not centered, but that's like my self-picky. I think we can start.
Yeah, I think we should be able to start. Like always, I think we're starting with the no-seeded teams. Of course, this is the drawing process, so there are not going to be any matches played today, but we will be sorting the teams in different groups, 4 teams on each group, and pretty much that's it. This is defined by 4 different seeds, where the teams are spread into different skill levels, I will say. Like the best teams are on the top seed, and not best teams are on the unseeded. Like, it really doesn't tell anything about the teams, but it's judged by some metrics that we did before. I mean, I think it's fair. But with that being said, I think we are ready to start with the no-seeded teams. For those which are A teams will be Greece, Singapore, Denmark, Sweden, Ukraine, Israel, Indonesia, and Spain. So,
I should have done the effort to sort this alphabetically for you.
Maybe.
Yeah, not happened. So.
The layout works. We'll make it through.
Soldier on. Yeah. I guess I should just start shuffling here for group A.
just the normal shuffling of all years.
Whee!
So this is the moment where we have to bet Doomsday, which is going to be the first team selected.
Oh, I think I'm feeling Israel for Group A actually. I don't know.
I'll say Denmark.
Let's see. We have Singapore.
Oh. So Singapore is going to be, some people saying that this might be one of the strongest, if not the strongest team of the unseeded. And this year, made by a full roster, as last year actually, they didn't quite hit the mark. They couldn't get through the group stage, but they were pretty close to do so, losing by 4-3 against Thailand, against Germany as well, and I don't know which was the other team, but they were quite close to get into. But anyways, the players this year will be Nakano, GS Blank, Brian, Repulse, Asterix, Artisan, 1+1 and Raindrop. So some difference compared to last year team. Definitely looking stronger than last year, but we have to see. And seed teams usually have a hard time to get through the group stage. Though this is a World Cup that they usually see surprises. So we have to wait and see.
GS Blank is actually a veteran of community tournaments this year. Has done really well in it. Definitely one to watch. He was in the team last year, but I think this year he's definitely a lot stronger, and Nakano as well also came into his own. So I think they could pull a few surprises this year.
Just as a heads up, that last team was Netherlands.
Oh, all right. Well, with that being said, I think we're ready to go for the second team who's going to stay on Group B. Second team to be selected in the World Cup. And if I have to bet,
It's going to be Spain.
it's gonna be Indonesia.
I don't take bets. People always complain when I bet.
Jinxing it, yeah. It's got to be done.
Okay, let's see. And we're having the Ukraine.
Oh, come on.
Ah, Ukraine. I remember in 2014, Ukraine went in as a no-seed team, I believe, and beat Taiwan, beat Brazil, got all the way to the quarterfinals. It was a major thing. But they're back this year, though, with a very similar lineup. Their lineup's barely changed over the years. Grancher is the captain, if I pronounce that right, with Random, Sadness, Blood Monk, Flair A, Blednak, Elzata, and Klozik. Granger's been around pretty much since OWC 3, one of the veterans of the team. Last year, they couldn't get out of the groups, but that 24 vintage year for them, where they pulled a massive amount of upsets on the way. We'll see if they can pull that off again this year.
I mean, it's fair to mention that they were against Poland and Canada and Latvia in the last year group, so that was a pretty hard group to get over it.
As a group of death, really, they just got unlucky draw in that first year, though. If they can do that again, they're going to turn a few heads, I think.
Totally want to see them performing this year. Eventually seeing him further into the bracket stage, but now 6 teams remaining in the unseeded. Who's gonna take the start on Group C?
And it's rolling and rolling. Rolling.
They see it rolling.
People think I'm happy, whatever.
You're definitely peppy, right?
Yeah,
Like-
usually Australian. Austrian, I'm definitely Austrian. So let's figure.
Let's see.
And we're
let's
having
see.
Spain.
Oh, Spain. The new team of the World Cup. For those who don't know, Spain is playing, I think, their second OS World Cup so far, but they played in the first one of all. So pretty much none of the players, I think any of the players is part of the same team this year. And I think they, even though they might not have the best team that they will want to, I still think they have a decent team, like Nasuring, PD Prox, Pinketsu, X-Frost, Mortal Strike, Adri Lolo 9, and White Lux. They're probably a team that not many people know about, but since I've hosted tournaments before for the Spanish community, I can tell some of those guys are actually a really, really big surprise. Adri Lolo is the first one that comes to mind. I remember them playing on one of my tournaments, doing a fantastic job. Again, as an unseeded team, getting through the quarterfinals. So that was super impressive. And if we see that from Spain on the World Cup, I'm definitely up for it. I really want to see how good they can perform.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a unquantifiable team because they're so new. But I mean, definitely the ones that you don't expect are always the scariest, considering when a team goes into it, they don't really know what to expect, and well, they just get surprised. Like I say, referring to Ukraine in 2014, to see if they can pull off a really good run here.
We all hope so. Like, the thing that we like to see in the OS World Cup is that there are so many matches that can be so close, because it's so hard to predict. It really comes to how good you feel that day, because it's a game where consistency is so hard to achieve. This game mode is definitely something unique and interesting, and I can see why everyone loves it. But with that being said, 5 more teams. Let's see who's the next one. Group D. Between Greece, Denmark, Sweden, Israel, and Indonesia.
And we're having Greece.
Dun, dun. Oh. Greece then. Your turn then, Dumsday.
Yeah, Greece, actually, even though they were unseeded, I'd say they're one of the stronger teams here because they have some names I definitely recognise from both tournaments and some of the top player listing. They were in the tournament last year. Unfortunately, got 4-0'd all the way through the group stage. Didn't have the strongest of runs, but this time they're coming back stronger. Some common names that have matured over the last year. Riven captaining the team, Johnny Z, the Pain G7, Kyorinen, Graphion, Tom Aster, Tofas, and X Darkson. Certainly players like Riven and the Pain I do definitely recognise. Riven is a very high ranked player. Definitely done well in tournaments I've seen. Probably the experienced head to lead the team, as is fitting of the captain. As for the other players, definitely they have this stage to show what they can do, but the experienced heads can definitely get them through. I feel like they'll be one of the stronger teams here.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Also, the experience from previous World Cups actually helps a lot. Like managing the nerves is something that is really important in this kind of tournaments, and it's something that teams like Spain does not have. So they definitely have that in their bags. So we will have to see. Riven is definitely a good player, and most of the team is also in a really decent spot. So definitely one of the stronger teams in the low seed, in the unseed teams. So now 4 more teams.
Group E.
Indeed, Group E between Denmark, Indonesia, Israel, and I think Sweden is the last one, which is going to be selected right now, of course.
Yeah, it's shuffling already. We're having Israel.
Okay. So Israel. This is another of the new ones. I don't think we saw this team before in any other World Cup. So everybody say welcome to Israel here. We will have Mr. Potato, Kyoko, Kizama, Elif, Hirokusa, Fukizi, and Slendy. So I kind of recognize some of those names, even though they didn't play in any World Cup before. I think that the name Potato and Slendy rings a bell on me. Yeah, they definitely do. Now that I'm seeing their profile a little bit closely, Mr. Potato is definitely a force to be reckoned. And Israel, even though they don't have the experience of previous World Cups, I think they can be a team that can put a fight against many of the stronger ones, like the high-seeded and top-seeded teams. But it really comes again to how well they can manage the nerves, because it's a really unique experience and not something that everyone can tank just in the first time.
They definitely have the quality in Mr. Potato and Kyoko, but like you say, it's if that inexperience bites them or not, but they definitely have quality in their ranks.
And there's always an important thing when it comes to tournaments. So let's see now. Denmark, Indonesia, and Sweden is going to take the spot on Group F.
Let's figure, yeah. We're having Denmark.
They have played in 2 tournaments before this. Granted, the last one they played in was 2014, so it's been a couple of years since we've seen a Danish team here. Seems like it's all change from that last outing. Sporklov is going to be captaining the team. Waifworth, I Am Vil, Zog, Huda, Cryolizzy, Lemem, and Team Player 51 make up this team. A very unquantifiable team. Honestly, I couldn't say I recognise many of those names. Granted, I do know Sporklov from the community, but in terms of their experience, definitely one that is going to be hard to predict. Certainly, we'll see how these guys can do. I guess it's the same boat as Israel. We'll see how their inexperience comes in here, but they are here for a reason. Certainly, I know that much.
Like, there are a lot of teams that wanted to get through this point, but them managed to do it. So that means something, and they now have to prove that they are made for it. So let's see how they do in the group F. Kind of depends as well of who ends up being in the group against them. But now for the last shuffle of the unseeded, we have a battle between Indonesia and Sweden, who's going to take Group G and Group H respectively. And this is a 50-50, I cannot lose this, right? It has to be Indonesia.
It's going to be Sweden. I'm feeling it.
So let's figure who's going to be G and H. And we are having, oh my god, why did that perma send? We are having for Group G, Indonesia.
Oh yeah, I won for one. But anyways, for Indonesia, which didn't play last year, but they played in every single other World Cup so far, they have Moodbreaker, Long Existence, Rinsler, Genjitsu, Lolimasta, Rexex, Reyusa, and Borsats. And I'm pretty sure none of these players played before. I might be wrong, but I don't really remember any of these names. So once again, as most of the unseeded teams, quite a fresh and new roster, but we have to see how good they can perform when it comes to not that big of an experience. Come on, English. I trusted you.
You can do it.
I can do it. But I'm not too sure if I saw some of these players in other tournaments from the community. I think I recognize one or two names over there, like Rinsler and Genjitsu. For some reason, rings a bell on me. Not too sure if you can confirm that Doomsday.
Actually, Moodbreaker played in the 2014 World Cup, but that is the only player that has played in one of the World Cups before. Of course, so the captain has some experience. They have a solid 4-0 win over Chile, but the other two matches against Australia and France, unfortunately, they lost. But Moodbreaker, see if he can lead his troops.
Well, with that being said, the only left is Sweden. Mind going for it, Doomsday?
Yeah, Sweden's been a mainstay for the last few years, certainly. Their roster's all changed this year. A lot of the names from last time not here this time. The layout they have right now is going to be Kupo, Rapthorn, Tomoko Kuroki, Snase, Suzuta, and Henberger. All change, but all fresh faces looking to make an appearance here. Last year, with their changed roster, they didn't get to the group stage, but they've always historically been a strong team, always pulled results out when people may have bet against them. But this team, all new. Can they replicate that? We'll soon see.
It really comes to the experience in a way. They had the pressure as well that they beat Japan 2 years ago in the round 16. Not sure you remember that. So I can see a lot of people expecting some good stuff from Sweden.
Yeah, I remember in that year the Swedish team was bigging up. They were the only people to beat that team, Japan, as they went on to win the tournament. So that was something.
That was something indeed. But with that being said, that should be it for the unseeded teams, and now we will jump into the low seed. Those 8 teams will be Chile, Netherlands, Latvia, Hong Kong, Austria, Argentina, New Zealand, and Philippines.
The Deadbeats chuffed about that low seed New Zealand, bigging them up.
They're finally not no-seeded. The first time ever.
Yay! No seeded is always not a victory, always.
Hey, I'll take whatever victory I can get.
I was about to mention that I thought that New Zealand never got into the low seed, so that's an achievement. Like, it really is.
Instant progress. guaranteed round of 16.
Well, they were quite close last year. Like,
Okay,
I think
last
they
year
played like 2 tiebreakers.
1, 2 was Finland.
Oh, true, but you beat Argentina, so you were 1 map away, literally.
Interesting enough, when I was actually doing the stats, 2014, Argentina beat New Zealand 4-0. Last year it was the exact opposite. We beat them 4-0.
Oh man. Well, this year it won't happen because we are both on the same seed. But anyways, now shuffling for Group A between these 8 teams, who's going to take the spot against Singapore?
I guess everyone right now sounds like he's simulating a drum roll. So let's picture that. And we are having New Zealand.
Oh, yeah.
man. Well, maybe you want to introduce this time, David? You probably know more than us about it.
Kind of. I mean, we do definitely have a good, strong team, but there are a few players missing that we could definitely use.
Well, that kind of happens sometimes, but in summary, this year the team from New Zealand is going to be Short Potato, Eloli, Yellowy 246, Kiyumi, Cabbage, Ningalu, Xenophranium, and Smith. So again with the full roster as last year. I think the missing players are like Momo-chan, I think, and Tong, and I believe Grimacy. And
Yeah,
Pustus.
Grimace is missing as well. He did pretty well last year, but we've still got a Lolly. I'm just gonna keep calling him Bunny because, yeah. So we've still got Bunny who's been around for a really long time. Really good player as well. Short Potato's been around for a while as well. Yellow actually did really well last year, if I remember correctly. I was legitimately surprised.
Well, I hope we see that again this year from New Zealand because they actually have a good chance of getting through. I will
Yeah,
say.
I'm actually liking the chances this year. I think it will definitely depend on who the other 2 teams in the group are, though.
But yeah, with that being said, that will be it for New Zealand. And for Group B against Ukraine, we shall shuffle the wheel. See who gets the spot.
Who's facing Ukraine?
Oh, the suspense.
Might be Latvia, right?
That'd be
Let's
typical.
figure.
Like
It's the
repeating a
Philippines.
story. Oh. So Philippines.
Philippines. They've been a mainstay since the very first World Cup. They haven't missed one. They're back again this year. All change once again for the most part for them. Going to be captained by Rivuri, Ormslayer, Ededed028, 2124, Hybrid Chrome, She, Konowiki, and Mirasan. All change, but they do have the quality in their ranks. The last few years, though, unfortunately, they've never been able to get out of the group stage. But this time, with a higher seeding, we'll see what they can do.
Well, but once again, if you compare it to the last year's team, like, oh my god, group that they had, it was Japan, United Kingdom, and China. You can say that's a really hard group.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
And even though they managed to take a point against China and Japan, so we might see.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you didn't. But yeah, with a different roster, it also needs to be proved that they are well made from the low seed. They can achieve some important victories. They might go through to the bracket stage. But well, now for Group C against Spain, pretty sure the Lockdown wants the Netherlands to be scheduled in that group. So.
You can read my mind. Already glaring at who I have to schedule, and I'm like, Group A is still okay. I hope that not Canada is arriving there or something. New Zealand versus Canada. The nemesis of every schedule.
Well, this is not Argentina and New Zealand.
Or
I don't-
Argentina, Japan, or something retarded like that.
One just doesn't want New Zealand to beat Argentina again.
Anyways, in Group C we have Argentina.
Oh, Argentina against Spain. That's
That's gonna be interesting.
yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting. It's the taco fight. Yeah, but
I feel like we need to make Dave.
You need
referee
to
that one.
wait. You need to wait for Mexico. Still.
oh my god, that's true. Mexico can still go to that group.
Oh, Chile can't be in that group. Okay.
Well, but still, two Spanish speakers in the same group, which is a shame because that kind of makes it harder for us to get through. But anyway, this time for Argentina, the team that I will fully support through the whole World Cup, this is my country, will be made by Glassbomb, Gatu, Payne, Benjacala, Enu, Nico Game 14, Catalysis, and Toshi. And this time around, Gatu is not the captain, and Glassbomb is back to play, which I think some people know about. Enu, of course, still being the force from Argentina, same with Benjacala and Payne. Even though the Argentinian team this time around has not been as active from the past year, I still think they are a team that can pull out some fights against the big ones. Even though they will definitely need some practice because they are not that well made for tournaments. They are more of the single player. But I guess that could change with some practice, and I definitely want to see Argentina further into the bracket stage, as they did in, for example, 2014.
They have a lot of players in there that have played in the last few years of tournaments, so they're no stranger to this. They'll know what to expect. See if they can put that to good use.
Well, having Toshi is definitely a good thing. Mouse player, actually. I think it's the only one from the team, which has a pretty good rank, pretty nuts scores. Have to see. Definitely looking forward for the match between Spain and Argentina. But now for Group D against Greece.
I heard my signal. I'm starting the roll.
So who can possibly be the bad schedule for Greece? I think there are not many. Like, the problem is when you have 3 teams.
So we are going to have Latvia.
Latvia. This one may surprise some people who ain't too familiar because even though they are in low seed and their roster this year is quite bare bones, that 4-man team they have has some pretty serious tournament capability in them. Their team is made up of Foreseen, Waywon 2012, Emula, and Jesus Christs. And all 4 of these players have definitely made the rounds. Foreseen has been a player for a long time, a very strong hidden hard-rock player. Emula and Jesus Christs have definitely done well in multiplayer lobbies and community tournaments over the last year or so. Waywon also helped out. But all 4 of these players, even though they don't really have much backup outside of those 4, well, they have none at all, the players they have are actually really strong. And for a low seed team, I think this is the one that people would want to have in their group the least, in my opinion.
Oh well, with that being said, for Latvia, I think we're ready to go to Group E. It's going to face Israel. Between Austria, Chile, Hong Kong, and Netherlands.
My push to talk is really not working if I don't have this program in focus. It's retarded.
You need to be one with the key, with the push to talk.
No, with the program I need to be one.
Technology,
Well,
man.
That's a tragedy. So we are having Chile.
Alright, so Chile is going to face Israel here in the group stage. And for Chile, I won't say it's a new team, they just didn't play last year, but they definitely have some new faces over there. I recognize, for example, Neve, who played in 2014. But other than that, the team is made by Kafan, Daniel, of course, the right mentioned Neve, Etejuano, Achives, Dilson, DPL, and Chris. So Chile definitely showing themselves that they have the players to perform as well as would no one expect. Like, I saw some of these players as well from my tournaments. Daniel, Neve are ones that ring my bells, and they're definitely super strong. They might have some trouble in later rounds if they manage to advance into the bracket stage, but their consistency and accuracy in general is usually really good. So definitely going to be a pain for the group stages. It's going to be a hard time for Israel there trying to get out, and probably as well for the teams that end up being selected for this group.
Yeah, I just started shuffling again.
That's fine. I wasn't sure if
I
to
always
say what
take the awkward silence. I always take the awkward silence as my signal. We're having live in Austria, Hong Kong, and Netherlands, and for Group F, we are gonna have.
Yep, Denmark should face Austria.
At Austria.
Oh yeah,
Oh, it's Austria.
you have a good one.
Yeah, this is one of the crowd favorites. They always show up in tournaments. Always fun to watch. And they're back this year. Back again. They've only missed one World Cup, so they're one of the mainstays. The team is a little bit bare bones this year, but they have some big names in there. They're captained by Akana Yuki, with OMG Force, LUMF, Fedora Goose, and Mystic in their team. Of course, OMG Force is one of the Wizards of Oz who made things happen in the last few years with the Lumitors, who isn't in the team this year. You also have Fedora Goose, who has really made a name for himself in community tournaments, consistently placed high, and this year he's going to be looking to show what he can do. Akana Yuki as well, also a mainstay of community tournaments. Even though their team may not have that much flexibility, a bit like Latvia, the players they have will be a problem for anyone they face, really, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably one of the biggest threats from the low seededs. And also it's going to be the same for the next two teams that we have in Group G and Group H. Decide between Hong Kong and Netherlands who's taking the fight against Indonesia or Sweden. But those two teams are definitely as well super strong. I remember Hong Kong reaching the finals last year, right?
They got pretty far, yeah. They got semis.
No, they got to finals, semi-finals last year. Wait, this is Hong Kong, yeah?
Yeah, we are having Netherlands in Group G.
Oh, seems like the tournament grandmaster stole us the lines. It will be Netherlands against Indonesia then. And of course, there are really big news for Netherlands this year. They don't have Happy Stick anymore. But they do have a really decent team anyways. They still have some of the players that they had last year, like Taku, Jackie Lam, 5. They also have PT. So pretty cool team to watch. I'm definitely looking forward to see what this team can do. For the other players though, Noah, Amnesia, Synchrostar, Kishiro, and CG Sama. Definitely a team to watch out, because even though they don't have that player that was there last year and 2 years ago, Happy Stick, which is a really good player, they still have the players from last year that performed quite well, even though they didn't manage to get through the group stage last year. I think I'm not too sure if I'm correct.
No, they didn't.
They
I don't think. No, I don't think they did.
Because I was looking at the wiki, it said they beat both Thailand and Singapore.
Yeah, they did, but I don't think they got through. I think it was like some technicality they didn't get through. It was really close either way.
Oh, yes, no, I actually do remember looking at this. Because I got really confused. I think there were another team that got 2 wins as well, and the others didn't get through because they had one less point or something.
Yep, one less
Yeah,
point. I
I
remember.
remember now, yeah.
So yeah, it was quite unfortunate for them that they didn't make it last time, but they definitely did well. Like, it's just a matter of taking maybe not that hard of a group. So this time around, we might see them in the bracket stages. But that being said, we still have Hong Kong remaining.
And Hong Kong, well, yeah. I mean, honestly, I thought like with the Hong Kong being in low seed this year, they may have a changed roster. No, they don't. That's still a very scary roster for a low seed team. Maybe these are the scariest ones. They are captained by Gids with Nanako, Chaos Litz, Rizia, Denia Nezar, Ming 3012, Starstick, and Yuna in the team. A lot of those names have been in previous tournaments for Hong Kong when they were high seed, which is kind of surprising to see them here, to be honest. Players like Denia Nezar, formerly known as CLP, Ming and Gids, all these players are all very scary players. Have already shown what they can do in previous tournaments. And, well, yeah, Group H is looking super scary with Sweden in it as well. Hong Kong is definitely a very strong team. I'm very surprised they got low seed, to be honest.
Last year they got to the finals, by the way, not semis.
That's a really important thing to mention. And I wanted to mention about Hong Kong being a low seed this time. That kind of speaks about the level of the teams right now, right? I mean, if Hong Kong has to take low seed, imagine what's on the high seeded and what's on the top seeded.
It's really spooky.
Indeed.
Very strong.
Yeah, sorry.
You spooked me, locked up. But
Yeah, I'm totally right now.
but well, now we're done with the low seed and it's time to jump into the high seeded teams. Again, a round of 8. Those will be the Russian Federation, Norway, Finland, Australia, Brazil, Canada, Italy, and Mexico.
I have no idea how Italy ended up there, but I actually don't know who's playing, so it's like, okay.
Oops.
I didn't make it. I mean, like, I know what's based on, and I wasn't too surprised, but okay, it's cool. I like it.
Well, if you like it, that's pretty much what we have to achieve.
It doesn't mean what me like it. I wanted to be prover, you know.
Oh. Time to
Let's
see
just
New Zealand's
shuffle
second
for
victim.
Group A.
Oh man. Well, let's see. For the high seeds this time, a lot of scary teams here. Group A against Singapore and New Zealand. Who's going to be?
And we're having Finland.
Alright, Finland.
I
remember-
could not have asked for a better team.
Oh my
Last year we
goodness.
lost it for 3-4 on a tiebreaker, which was amazing. This year I want to see us beat them.
That's actually true. New Zealand facing once again the Finland.
If we actually won that tiebreaker, we would have gone through.
Well, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but this time you have time for revenge. And once again, the team is not like worse, it's definitely scarier. You have Sanse, the return of Telewa, Hipiri, Suvi, Mafi, Honoturi, Sonoda, Umi, and Moltari. Pretty hard names to pronounce actually from Finland. We're not seeing Pupuja this time, which is a bit of a shame, but people should be cool enough anyways, because we have Telewa, which is a really good player. It's still a shame though, I really want to see Pupuja playing. But this time, being in the high seed, I think they made it to the quarterfinals last year, but it was the first time that they were actually going into the bracket stage. Let's see if they can replicate that thing once again.
I'm really happy to see the lever back. Good to see an old legend making a return. See how he does.
I definitely want to see a little bit more about Finland. But with that being said, it's time for Group B. Ukraine and Philippines are waiting for the high seed team that they will face.
Oh, the suspense. So many teams left.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And we're
Me?
having what?
Could be Australia, right? That's better.
We have Italy.
Oh,
Italy making a return with a very similar roster to last year, where they failed to get out of the groups, but they took maps off everyone they played. It was a rather unfortunate group they had, really tricky. This year, they're going to be rocking their captain Ziame with the team of Koba, Mr. Spazanev 17, Kazuki, Kirin, DT Sama, Umi, and Lloyd Chan. A lot of those players are returning, so they are already familiar. They've already got the ropes going on. But of course, last year with them not being able to get through the groups by a fair, by like a hair's breadth, this year they'll be looking to do a lot better, and certainly they just need a little bit more, and they could definitely push on out of the groups this year.
Yeah, Italy is one of those teams that you cannot go easy on, because you can see the results. Every single World Cup, they managed to take points against the hard teams. And even though they weren't able to advance, they were super close every single time. And this time, with a high seed advantage, they might be able to go through with pretty much the same team as last year. Probably with a lot of improvements and, of course, a lot of motivation to get through this time. But anyways, now it's time for Group C, the group I want to see. Spain and Argentina waiting for the third team on the group, and I hope it is Mexico or Brazil, even though it might be hard for us to beat them. I want to see.
Oh, the dope rhymes you did there.
Well, if Mexico gets Group C, wow, that'll be pretty insane.
It was amazing.
Make it happen, please.
Jesus, it's Mexico. It's Mexico.
It's
Wait,
Mexico.
really?
Wow.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Oh man,
No way.
this is going to be so much fun.
See, I'm not gonna believe it until I actually see it. Oh god, he was serious.
Oh my goodness. I cannot find Mexico in the... okay, I'm just going to mention it anyways. Mexico this time being formed by Brudic, Felix, Wolfie, Kepstrak, Aeon Lost, Atsudo, Hevel and Athenion. Definitely a scary team, no matter where you look at. Brudic is definitely a force to be reckoned. Same for Aeon Lost and Wolfie. I remember them from playing in tournaments before. But the main thing I want to point out against Mexico is the fact that they kind of feel nervous usually. They are not really good at handling the nerves. But now being on the high seed, the nerves are probably not that big. Like, I will say the pressure is something they have to tank, but since they are high seed, they kind of feel more confident about themselves. And against Spain and Argentina, even though they are hard matchups, they kind of already know the teams as well a little bit, since they played on tournaments before against them. So definitely going to be an interesting group to watch here, Group C. And I cannot wait to see the jokes from the chat there. But yeah, that will be it for Mexico, right? It's time for Group D.
Yeah, it's time for Group D, I guess. Let's
figure out Group D.
we'll have Australia, Brazil, Canada, Norway, and the Russian Federation left.
Has to be Norway, right? That will be
And
cool.
now we are having Australia.
Rip the scheduling.
Yeah, it's fine.
Australia. I'm gonna bring up my thing.
Yep, it's your turn. That Doomsday.
Yeah, Australia, mainstays of the tournament, coming back with many returning names. Box is going to be captaining once again for the third time in 3 years with a team of there's a few tricky names pronouncing it. Yui Guti, Ithgu, Doomy, Korilak, Weber, Lunias, and Pikamu. Of course, Box is a very experienced player in these tournaments. And Australia have always been around, they've always been threatening. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to get a massive run going through the tournament, but they've always been threatening to their group mates. And perhaps this year will be their year to make a move here. We're facing Greece and Latvia in their group in Group B.
Yeah, Australia not having the best of the times lately. Struggling to get away of the group stage last year, but this time we really want to see a different story. Even though they don't have Tokichi, they definitely have a team that is scary enough to get through. But now for Group E, Israel and Chile waiting for oh my god, for the team they want to face. What is the chat doing? Oh my
I
goodness.
think they're showing some Russian pride for Mother Russia.
Yeah, it looks like that indeed. But anyways, let's see if Russia actually ends up in Group E against Israel and Chile.
No, it's Canada.
Oh, it's going to be Canada. And it's my turn to introduce a team. And I'll say about Canada, they did super good last year. Managing to get through the group stage in a long time. Losing against Brazil though by having an amazing tiebreaker against Taiwan and Austria. But this time around, they pretty much have the same players, I will say. They are missing like 2 or 3, but they still have Acer, Trick Mirror, Miru Hong, Kai Fing, Ignite, Kyle, Karalis, and Binxis. And yes, people, this team is really scary. Like you can see, Canada did this last year as well. They swapped a lot. They have a lot of mod coverage in every single round. They're a really strong team in that aspect. They have players who can play anything in different situations. But one thing that they need is to have the whole team at the same time focused, which is sometimes a disadvantage, sometimes an advantage. But we'll have to see. The group that they have against Chile and Israel is going to be the first challenge for them. It really depends on how good they can perform against them.
Anyone remember that tiebreaker against Taiwan? That was pretty.
Oh man.
He actually only went out in the round after that on the tiebreaker against Austria. So, like I say, super scary team, and the bulk of their team is the same one that made that happen last year. So, one to watch.
And remember, never give up. But with that being said, now it's time for Group F. Only 3 more groups remaining for the high seats, and only Brazil, Norway, and Russia. Sorry.
Did the Russian fans already give up, or?
Kinda looks like that. Just wait until they get picked.
Bummer. Let's see. We have in Group F, indeed, Norway.
Norway was so much fun to watch last year. Super good on the free mod picks, I remember. The team this year is almost the same as the one they had last year. They're captained by Toby once again, with a team of Shu, GN, Cebu, Warrock, Afrodafro, PC, and Honda. Very all-rounded team there. No matter what kind of maps you throw them, they're going to be doing it. Every single mod, they'll be strong. Last year, they did really well on free mod, I remember. And of course, players like GN, Shu, very famous in the community for being absolutely beast players. GN known for being able to play pretty much anything. Cebu, Toby, PC, brilliant tournament players. Definitely helped carry the team, even with players like Shu and GN on their team last year. And honestly, it was a bit of a tragedy they didn't get further last year, because up until the point when they went out in the round after the group stage, I believe, they absolutely bossed teams around. So this year, they must do better, surely.
Well, against Austria and Denmark, this is definitely going to be a hard thing from the beginning. Really difficult group that they have so far, going to depend a bit on the top seed of it. Worth mentioning the hidden squad from Norway last year. As you mentioned it on the free mod picks, everyone picking hidden. It was super fun to watch. But anyways, let's see now Group G and H, the last ones between Brazil and Russia, who were on the same group last year actually. So who's going to take the spot against Netherlands and Indonesia? Who's going to take the other against Sweden and Hong Kong?
It looks so pointless when this wheel is rolling between 2 people. Like I'm getting an epileptic stroke.
Whoosh whoosh.
Whoosh whoosh bang bang. And we are having the Russian Federation.
Alright chat, now it's your turn to shine. So for Russia, we have, once again, a super scary team. This time led by Kurt, with Index, Talala, Red Pixel, Fallon, Shawase, Shockwave 000, and Unberlin, which is indeed a really scary roster. Index and Talala has been there since a long time ago, and they are super good players. Kurt also was there from like 4-5 years ago, 6. Oh my god, he's so old. I didn't know that. Since OWC number 2, playing in every single World Cup from that point. So definitely an experienced team, and a super consistent one as well. Even though they didn't manage to get through the group stage last year, they had a really hard group against Brazil and Norway and of course Greece. But this time around, they are not top seeds, so if they had some troubles before, they definitely need to watch out this time, because they don't have the highest seed of the group. They need to take 2 matches in order to advance, so it's definitely going to be a hard thing to deal with for them. And there goes a tweet chat. But anyways,
Solid.
Solid indeed. It's your turn for Brazil now, the last team from the high seed.
Brazil, one of the mainstays, played in every single year. Always been a very scary team to face. Last year, they made got right to the semi-finals. But this year, they are going to be looking to do even better than that. Captained by Fenrir, with a team of Idealism, Seto Kosuke, Murtrax, Zeka, Mouse Easy, Fabriciobi, and Miyazono. A lot of those players really experienced. Mouse Easy, Fabriciobi have played in multiple tournaments from past multiple years here.
I've researched that you've been in every single one of them. He is only one of 2 people, I believe. The other one is White Wolf.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure actually. I didn't realise he actually played since the first one. That's crazy. He's still in it now and still really strong. Managed to pull through every single year. Players like Fenrir, Mouse Easy, terrifying players, really high ranked, have shown up in multiple tournaments, including World Cup and community tournaments. Safe to say, if they do any better than last year, they're going to make a real story for themselves.
It's kind of scary seeing people from the first ever World Cup still making appearances in these ones.
Yeah,
Well,
that's crazy.
Those are like 7 years. You have to keep playing for 7 years and be still good.
Longer, you're like, oh, because back then it wasn't the rank requirement, so yeah.
But well, now the moment that everyone were looking for. The moment that most people was expecting. The top seeded teams, which everyone should know which are already, because there are only 8 teams remaining. But just in case, the top seeded teams this year are going to be Poland, South Korea, France, the United States, Germany, Taiwan, China, and the United Kingdom.
Woo!
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
UK for Group A. UK for Group A, please.
Mini hype or what?
Oh man, these 8
United
teams
Kingdom.
are just so scary. I just see the flags and I'm scared already. Who's thinking the first spot though? Singapore, New Zealand, and Finland waiting for the top seed. And honestly, if you're not a top seed, you really don't want to face any of these teams. They are, every single one of them, super strong.
Now let's face it, who are you gonna have? In Group A versus Singapore, New Zealand, and Finland. And we are having
Oh my god.
France.
Le France. Okay. That is going to be an interesting group indeed now, with France, Finland, New Zealand, and Singapore. This time around, France is having a team of 8 people once again, this time with Musty as a captain, Fils de Lama, The Poon, Flaven, Nero, Mr. Somb, Fires, and Elysion. So I'm pretty sure at least half of these players already played before, and indeed they did. And they got really good results. They managed to get into the semi-finals. They lost against Germany though, but they won every single match on the group stage last year. They won every single match on the group stage in 2014, and they only lost one in 2013. So in general, you can see that it's a really good team. It really shows that they can do super well because they advance every single time. I don't think they got knocked out in group stage any single time. And this time, I think I mentioned time like 5 times, France is definitely proving themselves to be a strong force, and I definitely want to see them on the bracket stage. They have a hard group, but I think they can deal with it.
A lot of people are pinning France as one of the favourites. I definitely have to agree. So much tournament experience in that team, along with the quality, I think it's really going to make the difference. I think these could definitely make it to the final. Or at least close to it, certainly.
Yep. But now
Unseeded Countries in Group B, yeah.
I was about to mention that.
I'm pushing.
Yeah, it's almost been an hour since we started, so we should get the map showcase soon after this, so stay tuned.
And in Group B, we are having Poland.
I do not pity that group.
Poland, the super heavyweights of Europe, always been a terrifying team. And
I
certainly
kind
are
of feel
this year.
bad for them. They always get so close, but they can never get the gold.
Yeah, they always tend to take a podium finish, but it's never the top one. But they have the ability to, and I mean, God, when is their year going to be? It could be any year. Could it be this year? We'll find out. They're captained by My Angel Vilchku, with their team of Vilchku, Rafis, Wubwolf Wolf, Rock, Fatovnik, Spider, and Piggy. A team of stars there that many of the OS community know very well. A lot of those players actually returning from the last team. I believe actually the only player that isn't returning is Lucid Ashtray, who has been replaced with Piggy this year. And as you said, for the previous years, they've always reached the top, but they've never been able to reach the gold. Will this year be their year?
Well, I think a lot of people want this to be the year for Poland. A lot of people like the team in general, one of the favorites, with good reasons. And Group B will be Ukraine, Philippines, Italy, and Poland. Now for Group C, the Spanish group is waiting for the top seed.
It's gonna be USA, I bet it. like, holy.
If it is the US, it's going to be super hard.
The
But
memes are gonna be strong here.
yes,
And it's
indeed.
Taiwan.
Oh, it's Taiwan? Well, me being the one introduced in Taiwan, it's kind of something. We have Flask, HBig, 225, Rucker, Small Key, My Angel Harura, Koa Lassie, Rizzer, and 17. So, do I really have to say stuff about this team? They have been here since forever. HBig is part of the top 3, I think, right now of the standard ranking system. So
No.
definitely a player to what?
He's not in the top 3.
He's on top 3, yeah.
He's not.
Oh, he's not.
Or Michael Piggy.
Oh, come on, there's not a big difference. He's still a super scary player
Top
whatsoever.
10. It's 50.
Yeah. Let's just say top 10.
It's close
And
enough.
overall, Rocker, Smallkey are also super consistent players. Even though they don't have players like Davonlong from last year and CXX, CXXE, and One, who were like important players last year as well. They didn't have the best of the lucks, considered as a tiebreaker team. They won against Portugal though in the group stage, but they lost against the US and Canada by tiebreaker both times. So Taiwan didn't have the best of the matchups, the best of the matchups last year. So if they have a little bit more of luck this time, they should be able to go really far away.
I just start shuffling now for Group D again.
No, that's fine.
Let's
Taiwan destroying the scheduling for Group C.
That's fine. I get along. Argentina versus Taiwan is going to be pain. Let's figure. We're having in Group D Germany.
Germany, another heavyweight of the European team. Coming in again with a similar lineup to last year, led by Dust Ice, with a team of Dokito, Beefowl, Neliel, Kagami, Imagak, Firstus, BD Dav, and Wason. Many of those players returning. Many of those players know the ropes and players like Dust Ice, Dokito, and Firstus are players that this year have absolutely torn up the solo scene and really stamped themselves on this game, and they're going to be coming in here as red hot favourites for many people. That team is filled with versatility on every mod. No matter what kind of speciality a team's going to go up against, these guys will be able to give them a good match. A bit like Poland, they've always done well, but were never able to quite reach the gold. And I think these guys could definitely go all the way. They've already done 90% of that journey in the last few tournaments. They can do it again.
Germany is always there to throw out really good matches, and perhaps they can even get into a top 3. Like, I really see this team being top 3 if they can perform as good as they usually do. But anyways, I guess we have to wait and see. Now for Group E, as Lokta was about to mention, but I ninja'd him.
No, let's go. We are having in Group E, Australia, Chile, Canada, and
Israel. And the team will
China.
be Korea? Oh.
exactly what Imrian didn't want. It's hilarious.
Oh, so.
Okay, China's going to be. This is the team of C. Actually, this should be Group C. Chile, Canada, China. A lot of C's, you know? But anyways, with that bad joke, now it's time to introduce China. Okay, well, the Chinese team this time has Crystal, Rustbell, Disan, Tokichi, RT, Spring Lane, GGVY, and Matsumoto Rise. I'm pretty sure that 6 of these players have been playing last year as well. Or actually 5, but still, super scary team. Rustbell making his appearance once again, transitioning from Mania. Really good player. As you saw in the previous tournament, he destroyed every single thing he played. And now they have Tokichi as well, which is a really important addition for them. GGBY being one of the veterans as well of the team, being playing since 2012. And the others are also really strong. They have been playing last year, if not, they definitely have the ranks to support that. I mean, RT, even though he didn't play, he's definitely a really strong player, and I think that's pretty much it. I think I saw Crystal before. Not sure if I saw him playing in O's though. Kinda rings a bell for Catch the Beat for some reason.
Yeah, I guess somebody else. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's someone else.
I think that Crystal is a Catch the Beat player, actually. A very high ranked
Yeah,
Catch the Beat player.
there are
Also.
like 3 crystals in GD. That's like confusing.
That's true. I think that is the same one I recall, because I played against him in another
I
tournament.
guess one we're going to, I'm not sure here. Okay, I started shuffling for Group F, and we have Denmark, Austria, Norway,
And that's how we shut down the
I think
commentators.
there's like easy scuttling, please, pretty please. Oh, we're having United today. Okay.
It's not that bad though.
No, it could be worse.
Could be Korea.
Could be UK.
That's always the worst.
Yeah, that's pretty much the all possibilities. It's going to be the US. So, mind talking about that, Domesday?
Oh, okay. USA, the defending champions. Anyone who watched last year will know their run through was something else, really. Of course, this time they're going to be captained by Toy the boy, and their team is going to be built up of Xerius, Ritze, Emlaw, Fiery Rage, Happy Stick, IDKE, and Minimin Wu. A lot of those players, of course, returning from that championship-winning team with some new faces. Of course, Happy Stick switching and now playing for the US team. Fiery Rage, a player that's really came into his own this year, making the team mouse player, along with Emlaw. The players like Toy, Xerius, and Ritze really shown what they can do last year. Terrifying players. Xerius well known for being incredible at the most difficult maps. Toy with his incredible consistency. All these things build a bedrock of a brilliant team that are going to be looking to defend their title this year.
I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how well Toy does this year. I think he's definitely going to be a player to look out for.
I just feel like a little bit weird without Silver and Talia, but I think that's fine. It's still a really, really strong team. And by really, really strong team, I mean top 3, but... But anyways, that's going to be for the defending champions, and now for the last 2 teams. Who's getting into Group G or Group H between South Korea and the United Kingdom. Russia, Netherlands and Indonesia waiting for one of those. Same goes for Sweden, Hong Kong and Brazil.
Let's figure them.
Time to see.
And we're having
Dun dun.
South Korea.
I'm actually quite looking forward to South Korea this year. And
You?
For one big reason, Angel Stone.
Oh well, I think everyone is looking forward for Korea no matter what. But this
But
time
it's been
around,
so long since we've seen a mouse player rival, if not beat, most of the top end tablet players. I'm really looking forward to seeing how well Angelson will do in this tournament.
you have Doomsday here, so you
I'm
have
not-
another one.
I think Angel Sim is a bit different. He's
Well,
Yeah, like Doomsday is going to be one of those classic mouse players, but I think Angelson is a little bit above Doomsday.
Well, that has to be proved in the tournament, but he's definitely a really good player. He's in the rank number 1 for some reason. And the team, led by Neta, composed by Tarulas, Sinia Pacifica, Juria, Angelsim, Enon, Lavals, and my aim sucks. That's a big returning as well. It's been a while since I see that guy playing on a World Cup. I don't think I'm not even sure if I saw him playing in a World Cup, but I know he changed his name. But I remember him to be a super good player since like forever. It's going to be really interesting to see him playing. And I like what I said, there's not much that you can really say about Korea. They're just good at everything. They are definitely the candidates to take the gold this year. And the group that they have, it is difficult. Indonesia, Netherlands and Russia are hard teams to beat. But South Korea in general is just super strong and they should be able to keep up with that.
Yeah, well, the reason why you might think my aim sucks sounds familiar is he was previously Kitty Commander.
Oh, yeah. That sounds like... Yep.
yeah. Before that, it was HDHR, I believe.
Yeah, that's the name I remember. HDHR.
I think good of my aim sucks and my accuracy sucks.
And
I
the
can't
last
wait
team.
I can't wait to see how this trilogy continues.
Oh god, yeah, it's the Sucks team. Anyway, the last team is of course the United Kingdom. They're going to be in Group H.
I think it's only fair to let Doomsday pick this one.
It's all falling into place.
I didn't feel.
It's definitely the best team of the tournament, right?
Oh yeah, got this. Led by Bubble Man, with a team consisting of Bahamut, Spook, Carthy, Doomsday, James Like, OP James, and Helix. Last few years, we've been in every single tournament apart from World Cup 2. Last few years, we made a decent run, gotten through to the quarterfinals and semi-finals, making 4th place in 2013. This year, we have a very strong roster, I believe. Players like Bubbleman, Spook, Carthy, and OP James have all made a splash this year in community tournaments, as well as firing up the rankings. Players like Bahamut and James Like been in tournaments before and shown what they can do already. Definitely a good blend between experience and up-and-coming new players. This year, I think we could do pretty good.
Well, you
What look?
definitely have to because you don't really have an easy group by any means.
No, that's a tricky group. Hong Kong, Brazil, ooh, and Sweden.
I
It's
don't
gonna be
envy you for having Hong Kong, I'm not gonna lie. Have fun with that one.
Yep, we'll try. We'll give it a
Well,
go.
I
Okay,
have
so
to
I got
say,
a quick question. I got a quick question for you guys.
Yeah.
What group are you most looking forward to watching?
Group C.
I think that Group C is going to be interesting to see how the teams interact. I mean, I'm looking at the groups of death. I'm thinking the groups of death would be, say, Group F, Austria, Norway, United States.
Oh my god,
Austria
that's
is a team that
true.
have always done well.
Oh jeez, that's going to be a group to watch.
So then, with that, the drawings concluded, and in Group A, we have Singapore, New Zealand, Finland, and France. In Group B, we have the Ukraine, Philippines, Italy, and Poland. In Group C, we have Spain, Argentina, Mexico, and Taiwan. In Group D, we have Greece, Latvia, Australia, and Germany. In Group E, we have Israel, Chile, Canada, and China. In Group F, we have Denmark, Austria, Norway, and the United States. In Group G, we have Indonesia, Netherlands, the Russian Federation, and South Korea. And in Group H, last but not least, we have Sweden, Hong Kong, Brazil, and the United Kingdom. Thrilling! I don't know which team is actually weak. I feel like everybody is scarily strong somehow.
Yeah, I
Well-
think like this year compared to other years, because there's been so many more community tournaments and community competitions going on, a lot of the players that may have fallen into lower seed teams are competitive, maybe not in terms of rank compared to, say, some of the higher seeds, but their experience in tournaments has built up their consistency to the point where a lot of the lowest seed teams, like things like Latvia and Hong Kong, Chile, all these teams, filled with players that people may not recognize, but definitely have veteran experience in tournaments. And I think a lot of the teams will be upset in the group stage, especially. I think I'm expecting a few top seed teams to go out, to be honest.
Definitely an interesting World Cup that we will see here. I mean, every single group promises a lot of surprises, but until the deciding point, next weekend, we will figure out who advanced into the round of 16 and who doesn't.
So I will pick up the maple shakers very soon. I never did this method before, so